Hi friends, there's intense discussion these days about the XAT 2014 results and the XAT 2014 cutoffs. Different institutes and different people who are in the know have predicted various cutoffs ranging from anywhere between 26, 27 to maybe 30, 32 for this year's XAT, considering that it was tough paper. Now, I have a few logics on the basis of which I would like to tell you where your cutoffs might lie this year. And this is based on my experience of tracking these exams for the last 12 to 15 years. Of course, please remember that this is qualified by the fact that when you talk about estimated cutoffs, it's always an estimation. And estimations can be plus minus 10-15% for anyone. But my thought process when I think about XAT goes basically, specifically XAT 14 paper, was that if you look at the XAT 14 paper and compare it to something like the XAT 2013 paper, comparison wise, the XAT 2013, as you all know, had a cutoff at around 29 marks out of an available 91 questions. If you look at XAT 14, the paper was much more tougher. In fact, in terms of the toughness level, there was almost no comparison between what the XAT 14 was and what the XAT 13 was. And hence, if you work this percentage out, 91 out of 29 out of 91 works out to be a percentage of around 32% net score for clearing the basic level cutoff. Now, if you look at XAT 14, obviously the cutoff should be below 32%. It can't be 32%. So, if you look at the fact that we had 83 questions available and we had the same time in terms of the time availability, and if you try to take 32% value for 83 or 83 marks, you realize that you end up at something close to 26.5. But that is assuming that the 32% net score, which happened last year for the cutoff, is going to be the same this year. And that is where my judgment tells me that this 26.5 should actually come down. And maybe if you ask me, it might come down anywhere between 10 to 20% from 26.5. So that is where my cutoff range estimation is somewhere between 22 to 24. Now, this is not the only logic on which I am basing this argument. The other logic of this argument is my experience in the past 15-20 years of training people and helping people in aptitude exams. And in general, for aptitude tests, the highest percentage scores that I've seen in the easiest exams, the CET Maharashtra exams, which used to be the Bank PO kind of exams, we had a clear strategy for our students for All India Rank 1 there. You score 70%, you will sail through. You will get All India Rank 1. You score 140 out of 200, you will get All India Rank 1 easily. And that too, the 70% was in a case where there was no negative marking. If you look at other aptitude tests parallelly, normally 60% is a very good score no matter which exam you're taking for an aptitude test in an easy paper. The toughest CATs the CATs which used to be really tough when you talk about CAT 2008 or the few years before that, CAT 2005, CAT 2006, the toughest CATs used to have cutoffs in terms of, I'm talking net scores after deducting negatives, would have cutoffs in the range of 30 to 35%. Whereas the toughest ZATs, in my experience, have had cutoffs ranging from 20 to 25%, as low as 20%. That's right. You heard me right. There have been years in which the ZAT cutoff has been as low as 20-22% of the net score. So even if I look at it from this angle, my logic tells me, and this ZAT 2014 was not easier than any of the toughest ZAT papers in the history of the ZAT. So what my logic tells me is that even from this angle, it boils down to this score. And these are the two reasons. From both these angles, when I look at this, and I looked at the paper, I looked at the kind of difficulty questions were posing, and it came out to approximately this range, which is coming out as a cutoff. And obviously, please remember this is an estimate. An estimate is as good as a guesstimate. There is no way you can simulate 90,000 people's attempts inside your mind. Hence, there is a possibility of an error. But if you are ask me how much error on this, I would say plus minus 2 to 3 marks on the positive or the negative side, not more than that. Right? So that's the logic on which my predicted score is 20 to 24 for a cutoff for the ZAT 2014 paper. I hope you found this useful. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.